Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Critters Corner Betsy Shaw Show, where we cover everything on the court with the West Green Lady Buffaloes basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Betsy Shaw. Coach, how you doing this afternoon?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. You're finally on Christmas break. How excited are you about that?
I'm very, very, very excited.
You get out of school for, is it 2.5 weeks still, 3 weeks, sometime around there?
It's a long time.
It feels like it's a little longer. I talked with somebody else how you get out today on the 14th and you don't go back until the 2nd. It feels like it's a little longer than it usually is, or am I just, I've been out of school so long that it's usually that long.
I think it's close this time.
Okay.
I think.
I've been out of high school for so long now that I don't know. When you get into college and you get those like 6-week breaks, you kind of forget how short high school's breaks are. Well, let's talk about basketball a little bit too. We don't have much to talk about though. Got Unicoi County. I believe that's the only game since the last time we sat down and talked. And then Unaka is the only game we've got to preview. We might touch on Gibbs a little bit. Won't go too far into the Ladies Classic. But talk about Unicoi County. We talked about them a little bit last week. Very, very tough basketball team. We watched them last year. You played them twice last year. And there's a chance that they potentially got better with some of the returning cast that they brought back. Talk about that game and just take me through it from beginning to end.
I thought they got better. I mean, I thought they were better this year than they were last year. We had 2 girls score for us. So Joey scored 11 or 12 and Morgan scored either 11 or 12. I don't remember which scored which. And then Joey had 11 rebounds and I think Morgan had 7 or 8 rebounds. We didn't score many points at all. And we had a hard time taking care of the basketball. We didn't even shoot until 4.5 minutes into the first quarter.
A lot of press defense.
Yeah, we've been practicing on it, and I thought we would be prepared, and we just didn't do very good with it. But we have watched the film on it, and so we're going to do some things differently and working on a few things to try to help with that. I knew we talked about this last week, the press, that they we knew they were going to press, but it's like we panicked. I mean, we stepped over the line, we threw just stuff that's very, very things that we can fix. They're controllable things that happen to us, and so just little stuff, but I was glad that we were able to see what we need to work on this, before we get into even more conference play. So that would be the main positive, the only positive pretty much.
It's tough to get through those type of games where you're getting thrashed like that the whole entire time, but it is a good learning lesson where you get to know some of the things that you need to work on going forward. But it's tough to get through those games in the moment.
You ain't telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's tough to get through those games in the moment, but outside of that press defense, what were some of the other things that you saw on film that you want to work on going forward into this break?
That's it.
Just press.
I mean, if we don't take care of the basketball, it's hard to do anything else. Like, we've worked on a lot of other stuff. Maybe one other thing. Majority of our shots, I think, maybe with the exception of like 4 or 5 shots the whole night, we shot either around the block. We shot around the block the entire time. And we missed and missed and missed there. So that would be the second thing to work on. Because it's not
low post shooting.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even just the post. Like, we had a lot of guards shooting layups out of, when we did break the press, shooting the layup there, and we didn't finish. So that would be another main thing that we need to work on. So those 2 things to work on, but they can be fixed. That's things that you can work on and get better at. I thought we've worked on, finishing, but working on it some more. So we played hard. They played hard. They did. I never thought, man, they're not playing hard. They're not trying. It was not that. We weren't able to execute, our press offense at all. And so we panicked. And so we're working on it. We're going to get better at that as a team. So, we're going to get better. We are.
Speaking of the 2 players, too, that you spoke about, Joey Shipley and Morgan Brown, those are the 2 that we've really spoke about the most this year. I think they're your 2 leading scorers too. Joey, as a freshman, has came in already through about 10 games, and she's already had multiple double-doubles. Morgan, you've seen her break the 20-point mark. I think that same game she broke the 20-point mark. She had a double-double too. What do you expect for them going forward as they reach the second half of the season after Christmas break?
Just to continue to improve. If you watch them, even them 2 or the whole team play against University High, versus, even against Unicoi, the things they're doing, they're getting better and better each game. So I'm just excited to see them continue to grow. They're really good players, both of them. But, they're both developing into leaders. And we had our first JV game against Unicoi, first one of the season. A lot of teams don't have JV or different scheduling thing because we can't get the bus there in time to play. So different reasons we haven't played yet. But, Joey sat on the bench the whole time, and we have another post, Madison Wagner, and so she talked to her the whole time about different things she can do. So Morgan's the same way in practice and in games, but just them stepping up as leaders too. So I'm glad to have both of them. It's fun to coach them too.
It's awesome to see, but I think that's all we've got. Don't have much more to talk about with Unicoi. Going into this, we'll have Unaka and Gibbs. We need to take a break first, so we'll be right back after these messages here on Grassroots Media.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greenville.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Critters Corner Betsy Shaw Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the West Green Lady Buffaloes basketball team. As always, I'm here with Lady Buffaloes head coach Betsy Shaw. So you're going into the Christmas break now. You've still got a few more regular season games until you go into the Hardy's Classic. You've got Unaka and Gibbs, two teams that you've already played this year, and two home and away series that you'll actually be done with before the New Year's. Unaka resulted in a win at their place earlier this year. Gibbs here resulted in a loss, and you'll have to go there this time. Talk about what you expect in both of those games coming up.
Unaka, I expect them to press full court man-to-man. They tried a couple different presses on us, and so that was probably the one that I changed the personnel of, and so that mixed us up a little bit. But I expect that, and then they play really hard. I mean, they play hard. He doesn't sub that much, but his girls play really hard. So, and they play together. So, a few things that we're gonna try to do is make sure to win the rebounding game, take care of the basketball, and score at least 10 points a quarter. So that was some of our goals that we've had the past few games. But those will be our goals for the game, and a win.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
The win's always the number one goal.
Yeah.
Talk about Gibbs, too. I know that was a very close and highly contested game here earlier this year. You were in it all the way to the very end, too. What do you expect whenever you go down there and play the Lady Eagles?
I think Morgan did she have 21 or 23?
I think that was the double-double 20-point game that we had talked about.
I think they're going to try to do something different with her. I would if I was them.
You would imagine.
I'm excited for it. It was a close game, so hopefully the result will be different. The end result will be a little different than it was last time. But it was a good game for us. We match up well with them, and so try to make a few changes, try to get some more points. But I mean, I have not watched the film again. I'll rewatch the film, but after we play on Friday, I'll rewatch it. So we'll see.
And then you get done with those two games and go into the Ladies Classic. It's kind of weird, the Ladies Classic this year. The whole bottom side of the bracket is full with all the county teams. So you could potentially face off with a few county teams more than twice this year, which you're pretty used to the last few years, because I think it was Chucky Doak that we had talked about. You've played something crazy like 7 times in the last 2 years or something like that, because you faced them in the Hardy's Classic, and then you go into the district tournament and you face off with them again. And it's that way with some other teams too. Could potentially see that, but for the moment you've got Unaka and Gibbs coming up. Unaka will probably be around the time that this is being released right now. I think this goes on at 7, so you'll probably be playing at the time this is released right now. So hopefully, if you're watching this, they've picked up a win right now. We get to talk about that on the next show.
Yeah.
And then you've got Gibbs coming up. We might preview them a little bit next week if we come back before them, but that's all we've got, Coach.
Thank
you for allowing me to come in once again. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Critters Corner Betsy Shaw Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.